If you've ever wanted to eavesdrop on one of my one-on-one coaching calls, now you can. In this video, you're going to see a conversation between myself and somebody who's interested in joining the SASO 5.0 program, but just feels really overwhelmed by the amount of information that he was running into online, on YouTube, and on different social media platforms. So I decided to do something that I've never done before, which is hop on a free call and just basically walk him through what the program does to see if it was a good fit for him. Now, on this call, you're going to see us go through basically a full breakdown of the program, but also how it applies to his current situation. So if you want to have a similar conversation with me, I will link something below where you can go ahead and book a time to do exactly that. And if you have no intention of booking a time with me and you just want to eavesdrop on the conversation, you can do that as well. Enjoy the video, and I will see you at the very end. How are you doing?
Good, good. How are you?
Good. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. First time, so thank you so much for giving the time.
Of course. So what brings you to the call? What questions do you have, or where are you with everything? But bring me up to speed.
Yeah, I am following you from last couple of weeks now, and
Mhm.
obviously I was consuming your content on the YouTube, and obviously the people in the high level community is recommending you. I mean, especially for the for the product. If
Yeah.
somebody's confused what to launch, where to start, and all these kind of stuff, so people are always commenting that speak to Alec, right? Speak to Alec,
Sure,
right? So all
sure,
these
yeah.
kind of stuff.
Super
Yeah.
flattering.
So yeah. So that's why the first thing is then I think I chat with you on the private chat as well in the Facebook.
Hmm.
And then where I am at the moment is obviously I am with the high level for a time now. But because
Hmm.
of 9 to 5 jobs and everything with the 3 kids and everything, always it's postponed. Okay, I will do it. Okay, I will learn more and learn more, and then I will do it. Okay, which feature, which industry, which niche? So just
Yeah.
confused. I mean, I
Yeah.
think everyone was there, and I am there now at the moment. So I need somebody. As I mentioned, maybe in my message to you as well, I signed up to affiliate before.
Hmm.
Obviously they have the small even one or both of them are the top affiliates on getting the Tesla and all this kind of stuff. So
Yeah, yeah.
but the courses are very limited, so I'm
Mm.
not after the courses, I'm after some mentorship. As you mentioned
Yeah.
in your chat as well, you will be kicking the ass as well if somebody's not doing the work or these kind
Yeah,
of.
right,
So I
right.
need a guidance, I need a mentorship along with obviously whatever the thing is. And in short, I will explain what I was thinking is obviously I sent a couple of messages to plumbers and all these kind of stuff to the landscaper. So what my thinking is, you can correct me what I'm thinking because I have no experience. So
Sure, sure.
I what I'm thinking is target niche as a landscapers.
Okay.
And the reason, obviously, I was confused about the plumber and the landscaper, but I'm going for the landscaper. Reason for that is they got, even if they got one project, it's a massive big project for 5,000 pounds, 6,000 pounds, 10,000 pounds, right?
Right, right.
And what I'm looking in, but I'm from UK, so what I'm looking in locally, that obviously their websites are not good, no chat widget there, their Facebook pages are empty, no projects are
Mhm.
shown, so all these kind of stuff. So I was thinking as a lead magnet, offer chat widget free of cost, just as a lead magnet, just to get their emails or just get some confidence. And
Mhm.
as a package one, just offer them uh, reputation management. I will also be offering the reputation management as a replies. So I will be doing the replies as well because they don't have too many, the Google reviews, all this kind of stuff.
Right, right.
And then show their Google reviews on their profiles as well, Facebook profile, Instagram, all these kind of profile. So this is as a package one, and their communication and text, all these kind of feature in 297, and then take it from there. Get the confidence first, but definitely offering first 10, 15, even 20 clients just free of cost. You just get the confidence. What
Yeah.
I'm thinking is you can guide me from there now.
Sure, yeah. So I'll go through a few points, right? So you have the niche. I love landscapers. One of my businesses works with lawn care and landscaping specifically because lawn care's got those margins or these that recurring income, and then landscaping has those margins, right? A nice landscaping gig. I remember I had a client who I think we helped him close like 6 or 8 deals, and he had made $28,000 off of just
Mm.
6 to 8 deals. And it was like a random Thursday. He messaged me and he's like, we just got 8 deals. And I'm like, and this is like before I realized like the ticket size of landscape. Like this was like one of my first clients. I'm like, okay, cool. And he's like, you know how much money that is? And I was like, no. And he's like, that's $28,000.
Thousand.
Like off of the, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh my goodness, right? So
Mm.
I am a big fan of landscaping. Um, the
So niche
what
is fine.
niche is fine. Yes. Now here's what I
Okay.
will say about niche. Niche is the most overthought process. I've spoken with easily thousands of agency owners or aspiring agency owners, and the niche is always hands down the biggest hurdle because it's like the way that I think people perceive it is they look at it as it's like an arranged marriage, right? They're like, I have to look at the industry and I have to pick them. But what if I pick the wrong one? And what if this one has problems,
Mm.
right? What if I pick the wrong wife? What if I pick the wrong niche, right?
Yeah,
And
scared
what
of
I,
it. Yeah.
right.
Mm.
And what I tell people is, um, picking an industry is like wearing a shirt. It's like picking a shirt in the morning, right? You know that you have to wear a shirt to go outside. You know, you have to wear a shirt to go into a store.
Mm.
You might pick the shirt. You might take a little bit to pick the shirt, but you're probably not spending more than 30, 45 minutes at
Mm.
most, right? Being the most like that might be for a date, right? That you
Mm.
think about what outfit to wear. But most of the time you're just like normal day, you go in the closet, go in your drawer, you pull out a shirt, you go, maybe next shirt. Oh yeah, let me wear this shirt. Oh, and then okay, I have this shirt, so I'll wear these pants, right? And then there you go. You're done,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
So picking an industry is just like that. A lot of people think like I have to love this industry and it has to be a perfect industry. Imagine thinking to yourself, I have to find the perfect spouse. It's like
Mm.
that's a lot of pressure for you to find that. Then it's a
Mm.
lot of pressure for the person to be the perfect spouse. Then it's a lot of pressure for are you good enough for the perfect spouse, right? And
Mm.
so what I look at it as is just if you've been in a relationship before, and there's a lot of correlations between business and relationships. If you've been in a relationship before, you understand that you find somebody that you're the most compatible with, and then there are things that you dislike about them. There's things that they dislike about you, and it's not a matter of, oh no, he or she does this, I'm out of here. No, it's a matter of, okay, here are some flaws that this person may have. I'm going to understand how to deal with them or work around them, so long as they don't violate, whatever standards I have in place, right?
Mm.
And
Mm.
then you get to learn, okay, when this person becomes overstimulated, how do I help them? When they become frustrated, how do I help them? Do I need to give them space? Do I need to not give them space, right? You learn those things about your partner. Same thing with the niche. Once you have the niche, there are things that you're going to love. There are things that you can't stand. There's going to be dream clients, there's going to be nightmare clients. It's a matter of
Mm.
this is the space I'm in. I'm going to learn the space. I'm going to master the space. I'm going to fully commit to this space, even if I see things that I dislike. Even if a really, really good looking space walks right past me, I'm focused on my space, right? So
Mm.
it's the same thing. Like, and what's funny is this, right? The minute that you pick a space, you'll start seeing all the bad things about it, and you'll start seeing all the good things about other spaces, right? So it's like the grass is greener on the other side. Then you go to that
Yeah.
side and you look back, the grass is greener on that side. You go back and you're
Mm.
like, wait, the grass, right? It's always like that. So what I
Mm.
tell people with the niche is number one, set a timer for 60 minutes. Write out
Mm.
all the pros and cons, write out all the people in your network. Is this a good space? If you like it, keep it, move on. At the end of the 60 minutes, you have to have an industry.
Mm.
That's it. If you're stuck between two, get out a coin, flip it in the air. That's your industry. And here's a really
Got it.
good tip. If you're stuck between two, when you flip that coin in the air and it's like the top coming back down, you will know right away, I hope it lands on this. Boom, there's your industry.
That's goodness. Yeah.
So 60
Mm.
minutes, done. That's it. Pick
Mm.
your industry. So you have landscaping. So with the niche selection, if you leave this call and you're like still conflicted or confused on it, that's what I recommend to do. But I like landscaping. Now, here's the second piece
Mm.
of this, okay? And this is the hard part. Once you pick your industry, I tell my people all the time, commit 8 months, 6 months
Mm.
minimum. I would not go less than 6 months. Commit to 8 months because if you're like, well, there's other industries that could be better and I could go here and I could go here. If you commit to 8 months and you follow the process that I'm going to share with you on this call,
Mm.
I have never seen somebody not come out of it with at least 5 clients. I've never seen that before. So if
Got it.
you say let's say you like landscaping 20%, right? You give it a 2 out of 10. You start working with them and you start getting paid and you develop your product and more people are coming to you and you leave this with 5, 10, 20 clients, you're going to love landscaping, right?
Mm. Mm.
And so what I'm going to share with you about the product development is going to be applicable to any industry or any space that you pick, but you have to pick a space. The reason we have to pick a space, clear communication, clear targeting, fast fulfillment. That is
Mm.
it. For example, I have 3 companies. Each company's focused on a different space, and they all are relatively similar. I have a flooring and I have a landscaping. So you would think estimate-based projects, yes, but the sales journey is completely different. There's like 2 or 3 stages that are different in flooring than there are in landscaping. So with those 2 or 3 different stages, it becomes a completely new product. And anybody who's built like a full pipeline automated, they know 2 or 3 stages can be a massive deal. That could be like, 5 to 20 more automations. That can be more templates, more snippets, more feet, right? It can get crazy really quickly.
Mhm.
So once you have this space of landscaping, then comes the question of, okay, what do we offer to these people, right? And
Yeah,
I'm going to share my screen just to keep it visual because
please.
what I've seen is that most people learn visually. So because most people learn visually, it let me justify buying an iPad. So we're gonna make sure I'm using this to get my write off right now. I'm just kidding. But most people, what they do, right, with the journey, any business that you give me, and once I map this out, you can give me any business, and I'll show you how it's the case, right? You have three main elements. You have traffic, which goes to a conversion mechanism. I want you to think if you're like, what is a conversion mechanism? Basically, it's just a CRM on steroids. That's all it is. It's basically the CRM has been optimized. You have your automations, you have your tags, you have your signed users. It's basically fully built out. It's not just the CRM, which would be the software. It's the software built around their process.
Mhm.
And then this goes into fulfillment. These are the three elements of any business. One, two,
And
three.
three.
I have an ad. You click on the ad, you opt in, you purchase. Once you purchase, I have to do the work.
Yeah.
You hear about a bakery, you walk into the bakery, you see what you like, you swipe your card. I have to give you the product that I made earlier the day, or I have to make something from scratch, depending on, what product it is, right? Like I wouldn't call ice cream a baked good, but any kind of food restaurant, right?
Mhm.
You get referred to a neurosurgeon from your general physician. You go have a consultation with them. If the consultation goes well, or maybe it doesn't go well, now you schedule brain surgery, right? And they have to do the surgery. So it doesn't matter what business you send me, you have to know about the business. You have to have some way of exchanging my money for this product, and then you have to receive the product, right?
Mhm.
What some people will do is they'll have variations to this in terms of like how they try to manipulate the order, but it's always this, okay?
Yeah.
Now, when you go to actually construct this, and this is where I get the offer, when you go to actually construct this, any business, you have to build this in reverse chronological order. Okay. You build it uh, backwards. Okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
You have to build it backwards. Here's why. When you probably wanted to do high level, right? You probably said, let me make sure I know how to do it. Let me create a little funnel for myself or some way for me to collect payment, whether it's to set up my Stripe or send them a link or something. And then let me tell people I'm doing this, right? Because if you go the opposite order, if you say, hey, come work with me, cool, I want to work with you. Where do I check out? Oh, wait, I don't have a way for them to check out. Hey, what are you doing? I don't have a way to show what they're doing.
Mhm.
Or one of the ones that I think the most amount I think it's one of the most outdated information ever. People will say, hey, come work with me. I've got this, and then I'll worry about figuring out how to do this piece when I get to it. I have no idea what I'm actually doing.
Mhm.
So the proper order is to go backwards every time. Because when you go backwards, you're saying, okay, I know how to build this. I know how to do the work. Now that I know how to do the work, let me have a way for them to check out. And then let me just send traffic, right?
Mhm.
So the conversion mechanism becomes a one-time event, and traffic is infinite because you have to continuously pushing traffic. And then fulfillment is infinite, but it's infinite based on traffic, right? Now, the conversion mechanism, you could argue that it's infinite, but once you set it up one time, you're basically just making sure it's working right, right? There's very little optimization that goes in once you have it built out, once you develop your product. So what I typically recommend to people is I typically recommend, and this is what SASO University focuses on, which is how do we build the perfect conversion mechanism uh, around the niche?
The niche.
Because again, the different industries have different pipelines, right? Like lawn care is going to have recurring. Lawn care and landscaping it now has recurring with upsells to one time.
Mhm.
Roofing versus flooring. It's a different process. Flooring,
Mhm.
remodeling versus landscaping. Yes, these are all estimate based, but they all have different pipelines. They all have different process. They all have different softwares to integrate with. So if we can have it to where we have that one niche and we have the conversion mechanism, which by the way, can be fully built within GHL. So this is, and then I don't need to go into the benefits of using GHL
Yeah, yeah,
because we know it, right? But basically,
yeah, yeah.
flat rate, unlimited upswing, right? So that's the
I
beauty.
I joined GHL in I think November 2020.
Yeah,
I wasted so much time in that, obviously because of the family commitments and all the other stuff as well. But yeah, but I delayed and delayed and delayed when
yeah.
GHL was very new. Yeah, so I know GHL. Yeah, yeah.
But the benefit of GHL is that with this conversion mechanism, as you know, right, it's just the snapshot feature. And then
Yeah,
with your custom fields, custom variables, custom objects, whatever you're
yeah.
putting into your snapshot. But it's that snapshot where you're able to basically take a picture of what you have for this industry and then repeat
Mm,
it. Because a plumber might be different than another plumber, but they're going to be much, much more similar than a plumber to a carpenter, a plumber to an electrician, a plumber to a roofer,
definitely.
a plumber to a, right? So in those subtle variations or nuances, what you now have is you have now a customizable, I'm not spelling that right, but you have a customizable product versus a custom product, right? So
Mm,
if you have something that you can customize, now you're starting at, let's say, 60 to 80% of the way done as soon as you get that
mm.
client, right? If you're
20,
doing,
20% changes, tweaks, and then it's ready to apply
yeah,
on
yeah,
the
it's going to
second
be
one, third
your
one,
business
fourth one. Yeah.
information,
Mm,
your brand kit. I would say sometimes they want to change the language of the messaging. They want to change the wait time. They want to change who's getting
mm,
what, assigning users, putting people like it's very
mm.
subtle things. But with an SOP, you can eventually hand it off, of course. But when you're doing custom, you know,
Yeah.
no surprise, every single time you're starting at 0% of the way done, right? So fulfillment becomes a really, really big pain here,
Mm.
but fulfillment becomes
Much easier on
beautiful
this side.
here,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And then
Mm,
to further push it, right? If you get a case study with a customizable product and the case study is relative to the niche, think about this. If I have a case study for landscapers, who's going to care more about that? Another landscaper or a doctor?
definitely.
Right.
Landscaper.
So it's going to, so not only is every additional client going to get you more gravitational pull in that space, but it's also going to
Mm,
streamline your fulfillment better and better because you'll start, they always say like you think you've seen it all, right? But you actually start seeing more and more scenarios to where you become more adaptable, more confident, right?
mm,
So to tie into like what I would recommend for you to offer is I would really just start with this conversion mechanism. And the conversion mechanism, just to be really clear, would be yes, there's a website, but I'll tell you right now, this is the lowest priority or the least impressive piece, right?
mm,
Where it really comes into play is, and these are some, I have some videos on YouTube that you can watch where I cover this, but I do things like I do an auto quote generator, brings them in, and it basically nurtures them until they give feedback on the estimate. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Like it? Cool, close. I don't like it? Cool. Why don't you like it? Well, because of this or that, I can work with you. Or they try to
mm,
ghost you. Hey, how do you feel about it? And then they tell you, oh, we actually do like it. We just got busy. Or hey, we actually don't like it. Cool. Now that I know how you feel, we can try to move on, right? So it's going to
mm,
increase. Think about this. The benefit is we're going to increase your conversion rate on pre-existing leads, on traffic you already have coming, right?
mm,
So again, traffic will come into play, but not yet. So if you're already getting traffic, hey, I've got 10 leads I'm closing too. Imagine if I say, cool, let's send another 10 leads. That's going to cost you how much money in ad spend, how much frustration. We're going to spend a lot of money and we're going to get maybe two more deals. Or and that's going to be thousands, right, for ad management and pushing the ads. Or I can say, hey, we can set up just the two things I have on the screen right now: website with the
mm,
auto quote, which I have video that you can copy 100%, website and auto quote. And now those 10 people coming in, we just went from two closes to three. And
mm.
that one extra job, like you said in the beginning, that could be 5, 6, 7,000 pounds, right?
Yeah.
And that's assuming we just get three. That's not assuming we get 4, 5, 6, right? That's just one more. And so you can see a
Mhm,
positive ROI right there, right?
mm,
The next thing we do is we do active client management, and I have automations. I don't have automation on this one yet. I'm actually building that out right now, but you'll see the other two I'm going to show you come out. But you have an
Okay.
active client folder. So the active client folder of workflows basically just says how you're managing the job. So this is going to lead to a professional experience. Because if you're managing like just like Jobber, Service Titan would, you can rebuild that in GHL.
Mm,
Service calendar. Hey, we're gonna show up at this time. Here's what you need to get prepared. We're gonna see you. All right, we're showing up now. Internal
mm,
notification to the rep, the tech, the guy. Go ahead and text them your name and that you're on the way. Hey, it's me. I'm actually
mm,
pulling up here, right? And so you can, click this button when you show up, click this button when you leave, click this
mm.
button when you collect payment, send this invoice, and then that invoice has a trigger. So you can have all these different whatever is going on in their business around this. And again, how a landscaper operates versus something that's very similar, like a remodeler or a plumber, very similar, completely different um,
Mm.
pipeline and client management system, right?
Yeah,
So then
understood.
we go into, okay, well, if I get you the quotes and we're closing more, we want to make sure that we're managing those clients well, those active client folder. But when they leave, we want to do a review, referral, and social proof campaign. So
Yeah,
what's that going to do? Well, that's going to lead to more traffic without ad spend. So now they're getting more and more people in here. So that's going to feed more people here, which we know is going to then go down this line chronologically, which means if we're feeding more people here, now 10 becomes 12, 10 becomes 15, 10 becomes 20. And if
mm.
you just maintain that conversion rate of another 10%, another 20%, that's going to be a lot of money. And that's
Yeah,
assuming that we're not, again, that's assuming a very, very conservative increase in conversion rate. So now you're getting more reviews, more referrals, and more social proof. Social proof would be like pictures of the project, happy testimonials, things like that. Reviews on Google, which we know is going to increase your ranking, which is going to do what? More traffic to the website,
more
right?
traffic. Yeah.
So it
Mm,
just feeds into itself like this machine. And then the final
mm,
automation that actually we just finished building out yesterday is we have a hiring pipeline. So the idea with the hiring pipeline is that it fully takes them from applicant into active client. And the benefit here is you have better quality workers who don't burn out. One of the hardest things I ever did when I was an account manager for an industrial cleaning company was I had to find somebody who would be willing to train others without burning them out and without breaking the bank on how much you're spending on them, right? So when you have a system and you're able to hire them in, you're able to really automate the hiring piece. And so
mm,
I've reduced the entire hiring process from the thing about how long a process is, interview, applications, do I want to hire them? Do I not want to hire them? Do I want to wait list them? And then finishing your onboarding, finishing your training. I've reduced that whole thing until 5 total steps. So now these
mm.
workers on these small lean businesses, they don't need to pick between spending a lot of money on these like entire onboarding training software or having nothing and losing people so they can have this, right? So this is basically what I come in to build in this conversion
So,
mechanism.
so in hiring people, how it's coming along with the GHL? What feature, what automation?
I make it into a pipeline and then the trigger is linked to whatever like job search platform like Indeed Monster, and then you use their
Mm,
API as a trigger with
mm,
webhooks to send over into GHL. So you have a new
mm,
application, and then depending on what stage, like, do you want to bring them over when they're a new applicant? Do you want to bring them over when, because some of those systems, like I remember we used Indeed, I would just email them back in Indeed, like, yes, I want to schedule an interview. And then from there, if I close the interview, if I say, hey, I want to work with them, then I bring them into my system. So it's really adaptable, and you have to understand their process to build it. But again, that ties all back to customize versus
mm,
custom. So
mm.
I'm saying, oh yeah, at what point do you do this? Cool. Delete this stage, add a new stage, and it's very
Yeah.
minimal work.
Mm,
But the benefit here is some people will tell you, well, I don't need more traffic. I don't need more clients. It's just me, and it's really hard to find quality workers. I've heard that all the
mm,
time. Nobody wants to work. It's like, yes, people want to work. The problem is that they don't want to work for no benefits. You're paying them under the table.
mm,
You are paying them, close to minimum wage. Nobody wants to work for that. So what
mm,
I always say is I say with the hiring pipeline, I say, hey, let's take your job listing. Let's look at nearby job listings. Let's make yours the best. And then you're going to get the best workers. Yes, you're spending more upfront, but that's going to lead to more of a professional experience. That's going to lead to better quality. That's going to lead to fewer mistakes, fewer lost clients. It's going to
mm,
avoid bad customer service, right? These are all things that we know these kind of soft skills lead to both better experiences, better referrals, better reviews, and ultimately removing them from the business. Because if you have good
mm,
SOPs and a good team, you're going to find quality individuals that can eventually take over the business for you, right?
mm,
So
mm.
this is
Got
the
it.
full process. Now, it is a lot. I have a
Mm,
snapshot that already has this built out, this built out, this built out, and we're focusing on active client actually this week. So we already
mm,
have all this built out. But the reason I segment it like this too is because let's say someone comes to you and they say, hey, I'm using Java, I'm using Service Titan. Cool. You know what we're going to do? we're just gonna cut this folder out.
Yeah,
So
just
it's
use the other one.
segmented in a
Yeah.
way where
Mm,
cool, all I have to do is draft these. And then I just use a Zap. Once the auto quote is done, send it to their system. Once it's marked as job complete, send it back for their review, referral, and social proof campaign.
mm. So this is the part two, which is in between the conversion mechanism, right?
So what I would recommend to you is I would recommend having increase in conversion be your part one.
Mm,
The reason is because again, remember, we build backwards.
yeah.
And think about this, for the traffic generation, you're having to traffic is not cheap. So
Mm,
what I do is I say, hey, how many leads? This is what I do. I have a video on this. It's my exact sales pitch. How many leads are you getting? And what's the average ticket price if you work with them? Cool. Of the number of leads you're getting, how many are you converting? How many are
mm,
you not converting? So we'll do happy face, we'll do sad face.
mm.
Happy face, you don't need my help because you're converting them. But
Yeah.
how much money are we losing right here? What if we could convert 10 to 20% more? And
Mm,
then this goes to this number, right? So now this number is bigger, but what if we took this number and what if we could get 10% to leave a new review, which leaves you more of this? This is my whole, I have
mm.
that pitch on YouTube. This is my whole pitch.
Okay, I
And
might
the
have missed that one then. Yeah. Mm,
yeah, yeah, I can
mm.
send it to you too after this. But the
Okay.
benefit is when you have, you want to have a micro offer, right? So how can I get somebody in the door? Like you said, I'd be willing to
Yeah.
do this for, 10, 20 people for free. What if you could
Yeah.
only do it? What if you only had to do it for free for 5, 10 people for 30 days?
Mm,
And if they like it, they stay on.
mm,
So you could say, hey, and you could, I'd even say, hey, if we don't help you close one more deal, one more landscaping deal for a nice ROI on this project, I'll fire myself.
mm.
And you know what's funny? I've never had to do that.
It's a good way of saying you either you firing me is better I fire myself.
You basically tell them, I'm so confident in this that you don't have to fire
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
I'll fire myself,
Mm,
right? And so
mm.
with the micro offer, all you're doing is plugging in the conversion mechanism, but you want to do it in a way where, and this comes from Frankie Finn. He's on YouTube as well. He has a book called Beyond the Agency Box, and he says this, and I love it. You want to say with your micro offer, no one is fired. So
Mm,
if they already have a website, cool. The auto quote, all we're gonna do is we're just gonna plug a form into the website. So if when we leave, it's just removing the form from the website.
mm,
That's it. You don't need a whole new website. I don't have a website. Cool. We can use one. I already have a website and I already have a CRM. Cool. We're going to plug in the auto quote, the review, referral, social proof, and we're going to work it around your CRM. I hope you like your CRM because we're going to make you use it a lot more, right? So make sure that no one is fired in the micro offer. And what will happen is over time, as you prove yourself with results, they will then say, hey, like, what else could we do? What else
mm,
should we do? Or I think it's time to update this. Or you can say, hey, we're making you good money. I think it's time
mm.
to reinvest here to make you more money. What do you think? How would you feel about that? And
Makes
then if you
sense.
work with them for 6 months, who else do you know in the space that we
Mm,
could help out get the same results for them that we got for you?
mm,
And so with the micro offer, what I recommend to people all the time is
mm.
I truly recommend, I have a video on this too. I truly, truly recommend being as aggressive as possible because what you want, right, is you want your niche, you want your product, and you want two back-to-back
Case studies.
case studies. Because if
Yeah.
you're a one-hit wonder, maybe you got lucky. If you have two, that luck comment is starting to go away, right?
Mm,
You hit a bullseye, whoa, lucky. You hit him back to back, you're like, oh dang, maybe he is really good at this, right?
mm,
So from here, what I want to do is I want to get this as fast as possible. So I'm paying for GHL. I'm doing like free 30 days, and keep it if you like it.
like it.
And then,
Yeah.
hey, check it out. How much do I charge for it? Let me ask you how much you charge, and I'm gonna show you. So you tell me what you charge, and I'm gonna shift how you think on charging in like 2 seconds.
Hmm.
So what would you charge for everything we just covered?
I think minimum 297,
Okay,
not
cool.
less than that. But obviously, if we add one more thing or two more things, then definitely 497 because they are even one new project can pay for 10 months, you can say, for especially for the landscapers, because they get easily 8 to 10 grand for one project.
Cool. Now watch this. You say 297, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me take you through the sales process and I'm going to show you how we can shift that thinking and do it in a way where it doesn't feel scammy, it doesn't feel scummy, no one feels like you're violating it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's role play really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So Adnan, you are a landscaper. How many leads on average are you getting a month?
10,
10. And how much on average would one of those leads convert to?
like 3.
3,000? And
Oh, three customer converts
oh yeah, but how much
out
would
of
the
10.
ticket price be?
So each will be minimum 4,000. So in total, 12 grand.
So let's say you're getting 3 at 4K equals 12K,
Yeah.
right? You, in this hypothetical scenario, don't need help here. But what
Mm-hmm.
you're telling me is you're losing about 7 potential leads at 4K being $28,000 or pounds, in your case, that you're leaving on the table, right?
Mm,
So let me ask you, what are you doing, or are you doing anything to bring them back into this number of 3 on the right?
nothing. I'm hoping for the next 10.
So what if instead we followed up with them to figure out, hey, why don't you like this? And let me ask you, if you are a landscaping company and they say price is an issue, would you be willing to maybe change the scope or maybe negotiate on budget to close a deal?
Yeah.
Cool. So let's say we talk with them and we get just one more person, okay?
Mm,
Just one. So 3 becomes 4 and 12K becomes
16K.
16K, right? Now, what
Mm,
if we took this 4 and we tried to get reviews, referrals, and social proof? And let's say just one person
mm,
would bite. That's going to lead to more reviews, more
mm,
referrals, and social proof campaigns saying, hey, here is how good we are doing it. Here's actual proof of our projects, right? Because I think you mentioned at the beginning of the call, they have no content on the website, no content on the socials, no content on the Google business posts. Right there,
mm,
we can start getting content, reviews, and that's going to climb. As you climb, you're going to be chewing away at more and more of the market, right? So right here, conservatively, based on the numbers that you told me, would you agree that this is not a ridiculous number if we were able just to have something that would follow up for you, see what the problem is for you, make sure they have a good experience, and then getting reviews, referrals, and social proof? Would you say this is pretty fair?
pretty fair.
Right.
Definitely. Mm,
And what I do is, by the way, like between you and me, if they say, oh, it's, let's say they say, yeah, it could be 4 to 8,000. What I
mm,
do is I'm just gonna say, hey, you know what? Forget 8,000. Let's just keep the low number. I
yeah.
sell against myself.
Mm,
10 to 20 leads. Hey, let's keep the low number.
mm.
So now it's like I'm using the numbers you gave me and I'm using the conservative numbers you
The
gave me.
least one, yeah. Mm,
Yeah. How many leads do you think we could bring back if we just spoke to them? 2 to 4. Let's go with 2.
mm,
5 to 10. Let's go 5.
mm.
And they're like, because they're expecting you to do the opposite. If
Yeah.
we got you 10, if we got you, and you do the opposite,
Mm,
right? So if I'm getting you $4,000 extra on the low end in these jobs, it wouldn't be ridiculous to say this is 497 a month,
mm,
right? So here's then what I do with the pricing. So what I say is it wouldn't be ridiculous to say 497 a month, but we know this is just going to be month 1. By the time we get to month 3 to 5, this number is going to be closer to this number.
mm.
Does that make sense because of the review and referral and the increase in conversion? Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Great. And what you see is as I'm pitching, I'm making
Mm,
everything a question. So I'm not
mm.
going to say we're going to get this number from 4 to 12. I'm saying based on what you've seen, does it make sense how I'd go from 4 to 12? And you're like,
Makes
right?
sense.
It
They're
makes
gonna say,
sense.
yeah.
So cool. So based on this, we could charge 1,200 a month for this, but with the next 5 people, because we're perfecting this product, we're only charging, uh, I would do, we're only charging this
Mm,
per month. Now, let's say you think that's too high,
mm.
right? Because remember the number you gave me.
Yeah.
Let's say you think that's too high. I have another option for you. I usually recommend against it, and you'll see why. But the other option would be we can do all of this for $297 a month, but I would take 10% of all the jobs I get you because it'd be a lot of risk for me to take on this project. It's a lot of work
Mm,
up front with no guaranteed payout. So I would have to take this. So you can pick, and whatever you pick, I'm going to work hard to make sure you get the results we talked about. But think about this. You're a landscaper. Which one would you prefer?
definitely, I think 697 then. Because
And
if I'm
right
getting
away,
three or four, 5 projects in a month, 10% of that one will be high, very high.
and you see how right there we just shifted,
Mm,
and it makes perfect sense.
mm,
Now, does this mean, Alec, you just walk through a hypothetical with a guy who wants to sell it? Of course,
mm,
it might feel easier digesting that way. But following this model, the whole time, all I did was everything out of my mouth was a question.
mm,
And then I even gave you options. And the whole time, I was painfully transparent to the point where it might make me look less professional. So all of this is like the opposite of a sales call.
mm,
And if I map out this whole piece with you, which is what I cover on that video, it's the exact same thing we did here. If I map out this whole thing on the video or on a sales call with you, you walk away with one of two things. You walk away with either you being the landscaper, right?
mm,
I know what, but not how. This is what you walk away with, right? Or option two, I know what, and now I want to
mm,
hire the how, which would be you,
mm,
right?
mm,
Because now the sales call is strictly value. And I'll give you a third really, really good tip.
mm,
And I'm doing it with you right now. Record it. Cut out the sale. So just like I'm going to do with this video, and just like you can do with your sales videos, you record the whole thing. People can now see what it looks like when you're consulting them on their pipeline for landscapers. They can see the
mm,
map out, they can see the reactions and everything. When you go to the pitch, it doesn't matter if he says yes or no. Just like it doesn't matter content wise if you say, I want to join SASO or I don't, because what's going to happen? If you say no, I have content showing my expertise, right? As
mm,
egotistical as that sounds, right? I have content showing my expertise, right?
mm.
If you say yes, I have content and I have a sale.
Yeah, sale. Mm.
Worst case scenario,
Content
content.
fail.
And what is content going to do? I'm going to put under this video, I'm going to edit this video. I'm telling people what I'm going
Mm,
to do to them. I'm telling you what I'm going to
mm,
do. At the end of the
mm,
video, there's that transparent part, right? At the end of the
mm,
video, I'm going to tell them, hey, if you want to schedule a free call like I did with Adnan, here's a link.
mm,
And what
mm,
do you think that's going to do to my numbers?
mm. Increase. Mm,
So every call, whether you could have a 0% conversion rate for like a month,
mm.
and then you
But you
spit
have a good
out
content now.
10 pieces of content showing that
Mm,
this is what you do, you are the guy.
mm.
And then package two, by the way, what do you think package two would be? Package one is a
Uh,
conversion mechanism, right?
yeah.
And it
I
could be,
think the
by the way,
marketing like Google Ads and all these kind of stuff because
bingo.
usually they search on the Google Map for landscapers, and so if whoever is coming on the top sponsored, it's gonna get traffic.
And that traffic, because we built it out in reverse chronological order backwards, that
Mm,
traffic is now going to go into a system where we know we're going to convert higher than if we did it traffic first as package one versus conversion as package two.
mm,
So now when you send traffic, you know you're going to convert it, and you can charge you can do the whole thing as rev share,
mm,
right? I know some guys who are doing 38,000 a client a month because all they do is the traffic and the conversion. Now they also do the setting in the closing team, but because they're generating these massive law firms a lot of money, they're taking like
mm,
20-30% of the traffic of the revenue.
mm.
Sorry.
I think the main point is now to get 10 customer as soon as possible to get the confidence to get the product right, and
So
then I
let's talk
think
confidence. Let's talk confidence.
mm,
You say, I am not yet confident. Correct?
Correct.
Why are you saying I am not yet confident?
Because I don't have any proof that I have done for any one client.
Mhm. Are you confident that you're not confident?
Yes.
Right. So you are confident. You are. What you're not confident on is
Fulfillment, I
actually
think. I think the fulfillment.
it's the premise.
The promise
The
I'm going
prem
to make. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead. You got it. You
Yeah.
got it.
The
What is it?
promise I'm going to make, am I going to fulfill that promise? That's the confidence I think I don't have.
So what is the premise? I'm not yet confident. What? What are you not yet confident of?
For the fulfillment, like a 30 days, if I say the 30 days, you will get 3 clients more due to my machine and all the automation. I'm not confident that they're going to get. That's the
So you're not
confidence.
confident in the outcome, right?
Yeah.
But are you confident that you could build a system like this if you just follow the exact? I'll send you the videos. You can
Yeah,
copy
yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Perfect.
Because I work in IT, so yeah, yeah, that's not. I mean, I understand all those automation and everything.
So change the premise and you'll become confident overnight.
And what does it mean? Change the promise?
So the premise is, what are you confident in? I am not yet confident that I can get you these results. So change
Mm,
this. I would say I know for a fact that I can build XYZ to get ABC.
mm,
The original premise is I'm going to get you ABC.
mm,
Change the premise to say I can build you XYZ.
mm.
And you just told me I've been in tech, I've been in IT, I get the automations.
Yeah.
If I tell you this is the automation I want you to build, Adnan's got it right there, right?
Mm,
So change
mm,
the premise.
mm,
So now you can become confident in I can build it. Where are you still lost? You're still lost in the results because you have not yet seen it, but also you're still going to be lost on the product. Well, good
mm,
news because you niche down.
mm,
So a lot of people, this is the big mistake people make, especially the scam affiliate people that drive me crazy. And the reason they drive me crazy, it's not like a marketing thing. It is. It's not just a marketing thing, but I've seen so many people. I had a guy come to me. He lost thousands. I'm talking like $35,000. His wife left him, took their kids, and
mm,
he was not an intelligent person
mm,
because he just kept buying into people, but he just kept falling for all these people saying, "Oh, we're gonna get you this. We're gonna get you this. We're gonna get you this." And you know what? Each and every one of them do. And you see a lot of high level affiliates doing this. They
mm,
say product, then value, sale, niche. For example, when you hopped on the call, right? You said, "Hey, what if we do? I think you said like AI bots, or what if we do traffic first, or what if we do this?" You said, "What can I sell?" What
mm,
I want you to do is I want you to do this. Who am I selling to?
mm,
What do they want? Because once you figure out who you're selling to, what they want is just talking with them,
mm.
right? Like, let me ask you, are you in a relationship? Do you have a spouse?
Yeah, I have a spouse and 3 kids.
So, with your wife, right? If
Yeah,
you
yeah.
say, let me learn a pickup line, and then I'm going to go use the pickup line, and
Mm,
maybe she hates it, maybe she thinks it's corny, maybe she finds it very endearing and romantic, right?
mm,
You don't know. You're lost in the dark. But if I tell you, let's say you're next to me, we're out at an event at a park or something, and you see your soon-to-be wife, right? And you
mm,
go, wow, she's very beautiful. And I go, hey, I actually know her. I could tell you what she likes. And then you could go maybe have like an icebreaker, or maybe I could connect the two of you and I can give you an insight. Oh, she likes this, she doesn't like that. She loves glasses. I have contacts, so good for us,
mm,
right? She loves glasses. Maybe you're like she'll never talk to me. Like, no, 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 she loves guys that look just like you. Oh, really, right?
mm,
And I start
mm.
connecting you because I know the niche. I know who we're talking
I
to.
know. Yeah.
So now, because I know who we're talking to, I can tell you what they like and don't like. Like for example,
Mm.
what's a food that your wife absolutely hates?
Might be that sushi thing.
Okay, I love sushi. Imagine it's me talking to her. I go, "Oh, let's go on a date. You want to go for sushi?"
Yeah.
But now watch this. What's her favorite food?
My wife's favorite food.
Yeah, what's her favorite food?
Yeah, it's a Chinese.
So imagine you go to her and then you say, "Hey, for our first date, would you?
Let's go for the
What if we go?
Chinese.
What if we go?" She goes, "I love Chinese."
Mm, mm,
What's gonna happen? You basically are the product, right?
mm,
Because we're selling you to her, right? That's the idea.
mm,
So when you understand the industry first, the product becomes very easy. The issue that I have with high level themselves, because look at how they market things. We're gonna show you how to sell review generators. We're gonna show you how to sell that. Why?
mm.
Why? Like, let me ask you, are you an Apple or Android guy?
Apple.
Me too. If I tell you Google Pixel has a new phone, Samsung S24, would you buy it?
Nope.
Me neither. So
Mm,
imagine I'm selling, selling, selling. Hey, I'm trying to make you have it. And then imagine I use a really good line on you and I get you to use it. I
mm,
get you to buy it. 2 days later, what's going to happen? I hate this thing, right? And then I hate this thing. Now I have a problem with the guy who sold it to me.
mm,
See, and that's where the scummy salespeople come out because they do the product first.
mm.
Wrong. If you want to create value, the product has to come second. The value has to come first, and we only
First.
know what people like when we talk to the person.
Mm,
I wear sweat shorts every single day. I wear Crocs every single day.
mm,
Love them. You go to sell me a pair of Crocs, I'll buy them. No questions asked.
mm,
I don't wear dress shoes. I don't wear tie. I don't wear suits ever. Maybe once a year. So if you go to sell me a really nice watch and things, it's not my thing. I don't own a car. I live downtown. I walk everywhere. I sold my car when we moved here. I never used it.
mm,
If you go to, hey Alec, I'm gonna sell you a car. I don't want it, right? Some people spend millions on cars, right? So once you understand who, you understand the what. Once you understand, the girlfriend before she becomes the wife and you're courting her, you understand what she likes, what I need to do for her to see me as a suitable life partner, right?
mm,
Same thing with your kids, right? You have 3 kids. I just had we had our first girl. She just turned 2. Every kid is different. I remember my younger brothers. She's completely different. You have 3 kids. I'm
mm.
sure they're completely different in some ways and similar in other ways.
Yeah.
Imagine if I told you, hey, Adnan, you have to parent them all the exact same way, identical.
Mm.
You'd be like, I can't
No,
do that. Right,
they're
right.
different. Mm,
Why? Because you care. You care about the
mm,
outcome being how they become as adults. Same thing with the clientele.
mm.
You have to care enough.
I don't know how much time you have, but quickly about SASO
Yes, hit me.
University and that what's inside, what can I get the help out of that? If you quickly just review me that, and then we can go from there.
Yeah, sure. So with SASO, what we do in the program is we're focused very, very heavily on building the product. And I can share my screen again and just kind of walk you through it. But we're very focused on building the product
Mhm.
around the niche. So I'll walk you through very, very quickly the process and interrupt me if you have any questions too.
Sure.
But very quickly, the process is who goes into number 2, what they want goes into number 3. We build what I call not what I call, just a minimum viable product. So this could be an outline, this could be a demo, this could be a pitch deck, just a very, very minimum viable product with the intention of share the vision, right? This is the vision of what we're trying to build because it's brand new. We're offering this kind of a discount for the first 5 people, if and only if you commit. Once we hit 5, that's it. That's who we're building our product around. So once you have
Mm,
the vision, that goes into number 4, your guinea pig clients. These are the clients who are going to get the deal of a lifetime because they're going to get it at half rate, very low rate for you to build a product. And in that, we understand how to find dream clients versus repelling the bad clients. And we understand how to repel them and also how to fire them if they somehow come in or if we make the mistake of some people get distracted by the money. So sometimes they hire and they're like, this is a mistake. We cover how to fire them.
mm,
Once we have that, once we have that product developed, which I have 2, just for some assets down here, we have 2 snapshots. We have the agency and we have the client. Now, the client is going to be harder for me to systemize because it's based on the who. So there's things to change, but I cover how to do that. And we have 2 weekly calls every week. Ask
mm,
anybody in the group. You come to the call. We do it all through Zoom. You give me remote access, and I can build it out for you. Or if you look on my screen, you can see me drawing on the screen, that red line. I can just basically say, and you know this, you do IT, right? Click here, go here. So I can just basically tell you what to build
Mm-hmm.
out and what to change if you need help with the tech, or at least we can bounce ideas off of each other. So we have those
Mm-hmm.
2 weekly calls, and my wife hates me for this. They're scheduled at an hour. They almost always go 2 hours. I've had some go 3. Like my Wednesday calls, they'll go like 3 hours because I just sit there and I just stay on the call until either
Mm-hmm.
everybody's happy or my wife is like banging down the door like the Kool-Aid man. So one of the two happens first, right?
Okay.
Um, and we also start with a one-on-one kickoff call
Mm.
where we basically map out like here are your next steps.
The plan.
There's also an accountability tracker in there, basically saying do all of these things every day for this month, every week for
Mm.
this month, and it's all about building the audience. So that's where number 5 comes in. We cover how to build video lead magnets that push to either a group
Mm.
or trade for email, sometimes both, right?
Mm.
And we have automation. The agency one, by the way, I talked on the client. The agency one is fully built out. When you come in, all you're doing is changing the copy. There's a funnel. You just update the landing page. It's like out of the box. I actually
Mm.
use this for my clients that I charge um, this much money for,
Mm.
10,200. I actually use it for this full snapshot. So you guys get the exact snapshot I use, and people are like, how are you able to charge that much? Niche down, case studies, the same exact thing. There's literally no difference.
Mm.
So I have this for my agency conversion mechanism. You guys get it, and I help you set it up. So once you have the VLM, you're pushing traffic to the group, you're trading for your email, and then you're basically just creating content, agitating content to push to calls, which we then know drops into your agency snapshot to where you're trying to convert them. So this is basically what it's built around for what I call phase 1, which I believe from my experience is by far the hardest stage.
Mm.
It is the first 5K, first 5 to 10 clients. Hardest stage by far because in the stage you're doing everything we covered. You're picking the
Mm.
industry, you're building the product,
Building the
you're
product. Mm.
perfecting the product, you're building the snapshot, you're making sure there's a lot of small tasks that go into it. Now, someone of your tech level is going to be a lot easier. I have some people come in, they're phenomenal salespeople, really bad with tech. It's harder for
Mm.
them. But if you come in with good tech level, and let's say you're a bad salesman, it's way easier because you saw how the sales pitch is. It's very easy.
Mm.
Not easy, but relatively easy. But the first 5 to 10K is by far the hardest because you're
Mm.
building those things out, you're perfecting your system, you're doing all the work. From there, we go into phase 2 and 3. Very simply
Just
put, this is where you are building your team and they start doing the work for you.
yeah. Okay.
So starting with setters, closers, and then you're going into and adding your C-suite individuals with a long-term incentivized profit sharing plan that's taken directly from Built to Sell, Warlow's book. So phase 2 and 3 is actually the easiest phase. I like when somebody comes to me and they're like, "Yeah, I'm doing like 8K, 10K, 15K a month." I'm like, "Cool, we're just doing this."
Mm.
So it's very, very fast. Hands down, without a doubt, this is the hardest one because you're niching down, and then what's happening? I'm stuck. A shiny object here, shiny object there, right? So this is what we do in Say So. And what I like is when people come to the calls, if they say, I'm stuck, I'm
Mm.
not making progress. Cool. Pull up your accountability tracker. It's completely empty.
Mm.
How can we improve what you haven't tracked?
Yeah.
Or, okay, you're tracking, but you're only tracking half the time. You need to track every time. Or, okay, cool. You've tracked and you've copied all your links over and you filled it out. Great. Now let's look at the links to the content that I have them link in there. Now let's look at your copy. Okay, cool. Here's where your copy sucks. Here's where your copy's good. I did this on a call yesterday. One of the students came in named Dylan Hart, and he was making a video lead magnet for portable builders. And I say their names because like I'm not ashamed to like I don't have to lie about like oh we have people like no like and he's a great guy.
Mm.
He's gonna go far with what he's covering. But he came in and he was like, hey, can you read this document? And on the call, we just redid the whole document. I'm like, let's change this here. Let's do this title here. Let's do this here. Let's do that. He's like, great. He messaged me last night. Hey, I updated it. Can you review it now? Cool. Let's look at it. So what I always tell people, and this is what I'll tell you too, if you come to the group, yes, there's a course, but the beauty of the program is like being able to pick my brain and having me bounce ideas off of me and having other people in the community. Like you make a post, like I have people DM me and like, what do I do about this? And I'm like, hey, number one, post it in the group. Not because I'm trying to blow you off, but because there's so many different intelligent thinkers in that group and you will see so many different options and so much context that you're like, oh wow, like this is really cool, right? So it's really, really cool. Like I'll see a post, I'm quick. I'll see a post and someone else will reply before me. And I'm like, dude, that's such a cool community. Um, but the big takeaway is just if you come to the group, let's say Adnan or anybody watching the video later is like, I want to come to the group, right? I say two things. If you come ready to work, right? I don't care if you do like 30 minutes a day. I don't care if you do a 10-hour day one day, skip 2 days, 10-hour day. I don't care what it looks like, but come ready to work as consistently as you can. Because if you don't, and I've told people this, if you don't, I will kindly suggest that this is not the group for you.
Mm.
Because I want people who are going to come in, and if they get results, then you're going to stay, and I'll get either a high level affiliate commission for a long time. I'll have a direct payment member for a long time. You'll say, hey, I'm ready for phase 2 and 3. Can you help me one-on-one? Sure. Let's hop into our $1,500 packages. Let's hop into our $3,000 packages, and you'll have no problem paying it because we'll have made you quite a bit of money up until then, right? But
Mm.
there's people who come in and they never participate, and maybe they'll watch this video. They never participate in the group calls. They never ask questions, and then 6 months later, I get a message, "Hey, I'm leaving the group. Hey, I don't think I got too busy. I got whatever." And every time I go, "Yep, have a good one." I don't wish them poorly, but I'm happy they're leaving because I want the group to be like people who are really, really serious about making it happen. So that was the one-on-one that I had with Adnan. I hope you enjoyed watching it. And if you want to have your very own one-on-one with me, it won't be as long. But if you do want to have your own one-on-one with me to see if this program is the right program for you, I will link a link below for you to book a time to speak with me. Have a good one, and I will see you in the next video.